Hello, everyone. It's Friday night. Hey, you think we'll go ahead and bring in the chimes? All right, but this is not class. This is fun time. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I don't typically do this. Used to, but not anymore. But had the opportunity to wear had the uh, to get Nick on, and I thought, well, this would be a perfect time. So thank you all for coming in and watching, and welcome everyone. We just invoke favor on you. And hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing very well, my friend. Doing very well. Hello
Good.
to everybody in the chat, and I want to invoke favor upon you.
Hey, listen, we all like that. David Barry, do you ever get any sleep? I mean, this dude is like, right up there. Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Milky Way Messenger. Is Brian going to be on later on? I don't know. Sometimes he is on Friday. I don't know. So just welcome. I just let some people know here, Jamie, I've gotten your emails. We have another person that's in our group. Her mother, who's in her 80s. Man, I'll tell you what, folks, it's getting weird in the United States, but we just invoke favor on Katina's mother, and we just say that she's not going to lose her home and her land. I mean, this is crazy. So anyway, Nick, how are you? I just want to say hello all and thank you, moderators. Someone asked today, well, what is a moderator? It's the folks you can see in the chat room, folks. They got the little blue by their name. That means that they're in there kind of balancing the conversation. I think that's how I put it, Nick. So thank you all, Big Al and all David Barry, the rest of y'all. Peter, good to see you, buddy. And welcome everyone else that's coming in. Thank you. And we'll make it interesting. So, Nick, I saw you over on Brian's channel, and I thought, well, it would be an interesting opportunity, I think, to have you on and kind of get your background and a little bit how you arrived at where you are at. So I was asking you earlier, so you are a builder. That's what you do for a living, right?
Well,
Yeah.
right now, I live in a hospital in a five-story addition onto a hospital, but I do the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
Okay. Commercial work.
Very much so.
Yeah. Back in the day when I was a drywall finisher, that's all I did was commercial work. So yeah, know you guys very well. And it's a great field. So kind of curious, what is your background? I mean, kind of tell everyone, if you'd like, about a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in East Coast, Maryland, and then moved to Tennessee, and I spent probably, upwards of like 12, 13 years in Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, Knoxville area.
Yeah.
Out in Knoxville, and
Love that area.
yeah, it's definitely an experience.
It's green there. That's what I love about it. I've got the mountains here, but they're not green. It's all brown here.
The mountains there are lush green.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think fondly of Knoxville because that's where I contracted Lyme disease and spinal meningitis. Almost died right there at Fort Sanders Park West. So yeah.
Well, you come out on top there.
Well, some may argue that. So East Coast, and that kind of just led you to where you are now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool.
So here I am, probably 2012, 2013. That's roughly. There was some little margin, but I woken. I really heavily, and then I come to figure out that I was awake when I was younger, and I just kind of put myself to sleep.
Good metaphor.
Yeah, these things that I already knew them.
Now, were you in a particular religion? Were you a Christian?
A Christian, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. What denomination?
Oh, I was a Lutheran.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was remembering when I was on my own, there was a group with the Unitarian Church called LRY. And I'll just be candid with you. They had some of the wildest orgies. I mean, in
Yeah,
the guise of church. But anyway, so Lutheran, okay, know
yeah.
that denomination very well.
So yeah, our family was, religious. We went to church and all that, and it
Yeah.
just, yeah, I just started questioning things, and one
So I'm
day,
curious how your awakening process come. I swear we entered into a different region of space because there are just long list of people who awoke about that same time.
yeah, I agree, and it's like the pendulum swings. It's going to go the other way just as far as it went the opposite way, and I think we might have broke the precipice some years back, a couple years back. Yeah,
I'd agree. You said that you were pretty much awake when you were
yeah.
memories of, being aware that the age. Are you still there?
Yeah, my internet is, I don't know.
That's all right. It's it is what it is. I mean,
Gremlins.
you know what? We love them, and they're all welcomed.
So growing up, I saw things. I've been in interaction with I'm going to call them other beings. I remember them, like, one was tall. I used to always be scared to go out to feed my dog at night, and there was always something out there. I knew there was something out there, just presence of some things, and I just, I guess through trauma and through putting myself through my own misery, I guess I put myself to sleep. You know.
Mm. That's when you say that, because that's exactly what I think the majority of the masses is, that they're self anesthetized.
Hmm.
And and this is just my opinion, but religion, organized doctrine, dogma, will do that and aid you very much into that going to sleep.
And I think our part of our control, like, the beings, the star races that have us controlled, I think that they use our mass consciousness. I think they use it to their advantage. And I think they get the masses to a certain belief system, or, anything like that, that, can affect the masses in a big way. And I think that they use it against us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I totally on board with that. Um, it's very odd, as we've been talking, I am. Uh, I think that there are many of us who have actually been contacted by other beings. I can remember distinctly living in Santa Clara in 1960, an incident that happened. And at first I thought it was outside my bedroom, but I've been now pretty much realizing that either we were abducted or there were contacts made. And I think so often they do this with children, particularly I think children that um, bear the gifts.
I, I think we get tricked. I don't think they actually abduct us. I don't think they physically abduct our bodies. I think they trick us in our dream state. They trick us into going to them, because I believe we're multidimensional beings.
Hmm.
Uh, I believe we have access to things once we gain our power to a certain level. We have access to different realms, the astral realm, so on and so forth. But I think they actually trick us with illusions, with different.
It could be, yeah. I used to suffer terribly with night paralysis,
Mhm.
and the experiences that I was going through, it caused me at when I was going through this to begin to look for other alternatives, and because praying didn't help. And it's a very weird feeling. Have you ever suffered from night paralysis?
Yeah, sometimes I wake up and I'm just like stuck.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Mine was very often with other beings, and I didn't like that. I didn't like being basically where you're only left with just your thoughts.
yeah, yeah. And
It's a
that's a scary thing sometimes.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's an alternate reality. I mean, this is what the shirt says, have a nice
Yes.
alternate reality, but it's exactly what it is. And I almost think that death, when we step through the veil, it's going to be, I think, that same kind of feeling of disorientation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone says, I bet all the LSD did not help. Actually, quite the opposite.
Yeah,
You'd
I
be
think it did.
surprised.
I think it did
Yeah,
help.
you see, I have a special advantage over most of you is that you've never taken LSD. You don't understand. You're literally living in an alternate reality. You're existing in this, but yeah, so quite the opposite. It actually disciplines your mind, your soul, much more than what you'd even imagine.
Yeah, I believe it seasons you.
I
You're
do.
creating an alternate reality. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, um, some of the experiences I have when you're literally walking down a street and the street begins to undulate and the amazing figures and symbols that begin to literally thrive within that, you're in there, and you're in there for the ride, as they would say.
yeah, you are.
You are, and so yeah, when the night paralysis came in, um, you know that was the thing that I could always remember was that feeling that what is going on? I mean, I wanted to move my body. I would focus just to be able to see if I could move my finger, one finger.
Mhm.
Um, Fortunately, I don't suffer from that anymore. I overcame that. Got that, as they would say back in the day. I got that devil. So,
Got that.
um, you're coming awake. Did you find the separation? Now, was your family also in the same denomination?
Yes, yes. My father's side was, and my mother's side not so much. They
Okay.
weren't too much churchgoers.
Okay. Was there any struggle within the dynamics of the relationships? Typical.
Actually, I don't know. My dad, it's the weirdest thing. My dad kind of woke up the same time I did, and we kind of rekindled our relationship, and we're just on the same page,
Outstanding.
awakening wise. Like we're on the same page. Like happened all at the same time, and
That's phenomenal.
yeah, we were not in contact for the longest time, and then we recontacted, got our relationship kind of rekindled, and we're at the same, almost the same point,
Outstanding.
isn't it?
I mean, you hear many times the opposite.
Hmm.
I know even Big Al, suffers from that within his family, and there's others that
A lot
they're
of people
weak.
are.
It's like, well, what happened? The talking about the the Hatcoys and the McCoys and the Hatfields, right?
Mhm.
So I'm curious. So where do you see yourself today? I mean, you're back 2012. You're 7 years into this now.
Totally. I've morphed into a totally different. It's a totally different. Like I've jumped timelines. Like I don't,
Yeah,
totally different person.
yeah. I think there's something to this. I swear there is because I've told the story. We met some people here recently that knew us when we were heavily involved in our religion. And as one person says, "You're not the same person anymore. We have moved great distances apart."
Most definitely. And like you say, when we're growing up as kids and when we're going through our phases and our, growing up, we change so many times.
Hmm.
I, it's like, just always change.
So where do you see yourself today, Nick, on, there's a lot of things happening. I mean, you know, you're active part of this community. So we know on this channel, I try to cover, you know,
Well,
those things.
I'm helping Karen out a lot, Queen of Quartz. I've been working closely with her for some time now. And
Excellent.
hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. We're going to get you on, hon. Let's
But
talk about that. Now, how did that come about?
well, I ended up emailing her a long time ago when you first got her on, like your first show.
Yeah.
And we've been in contact ever since. And come to find out that, you know, we've known each other for a long, 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 long time. We've through ages and ages, you know. She's she's really near and dear to my heart. I really appreciate her.
Yeah, yeah. I have a person that through here that, you know, being pen pals and just getting to know each other. Yeah, same thing.
And things are manifesting so fast, Wayne. It's like I can put thought to something. I put a real deep thought to it, and within hours, Wayne, it's either happening to somebody else around me or me. You know, it's not just manifesting for me. A lot of times, it's the people around me. You know, I get a deep thought, and I get into something really, 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 really hardcore, and it just like the next day, everything, it's all around me.
So give me your impression on the crystal network. How do you see this? Karen's going to be on and, you know, bringing this out, but I'm curious as to how you are envisioning this.
Well, I envision, okay, so we're going to go back to the control in this world. And it's in my opinion and my belief that it is controlled by a grid. Okay, so we are being controlled by a frequency grid. And it even has, they use stones, they use crystals themselves. They're buildings that they build out of. It has a lot of quartz. It's mainly quartz. So they're using it to their advantage. And it's time for us to take the grid back. It's time for us to reconstruct our own grid.
And we see that using the crystals as a point of contact in bringing in everyone. You know, this is one Karen sent me quite some time ago, and it's quite, you know, yeah. So, you know, I forget what she calls these.
Master crystals.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go. So,
this crystal went on vacation with me to Bermuda, to Pennsylvania. It goes everywhere.
That's dedication. I can only, I'm assuming that's probably weighs a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And having been one as a road warrior, one of those elite frequent flyers, you know, you'd be surprised. Ounces count a lot when you have to carry something, you know. So go on with this. Because this is interesting. I think it's an education process of, you know, getting these going. So let's go ahead, continue on.
So the grid, they control us with a frequency grid, a stone grid, crystal grid, formations, sigils, so on and so forth. Now, those very tools are being used against us and already in place. So why not build our own and combat it with the same thing?
Yeah.
But ours will be even more potent and more strong and more just because the power of us is powering their grid, which in then return is controlling us through our belief, through energy, through just division, period.
Yeah. My office is it's a sanctuary because in here, there's more crystal in here of various kinds. I mean, the energy is high.
Crystals all around me. all around me.
So let's continue on this because, manifestation to me is a key component to anything that a group gets involved with.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we get Karen on, she'll give her vision on this. Well, there she is right there. Everyone can check out our new website at, it is, well, I can see the name right there. Let me get into the bigger screen. What is that? Queen of, is it QOF? Anyway, we'll put it in the contact information, the description. Good to see you, Karen. I'd like to get you on next week and get a little bit more at this, a work in progress. Yeah. So I come from the video post-production industry, and, it was the advent of video and the early televisions. We actually used vacuum tubes. They were actually crystals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I found it very interesting that we use this in a means of broadcasting a vision. That's what television is to tell a vision. This is something that, I see this as being potentially extremely electrifying.
I look at it as a complete game changer, and my sole purpose in this reality right now as a warrior for a better tomorrow is, to build this grid, to get the right people, the right crystals, and kind of meld that energy together into something big.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. Yeah.
As you were talking, it'd be quite the enterprise to, and I'm really serious about this. I know the expense could be quite expensive, but imagine building a community center virtually out of crystalline.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Could you imagine that?
It'd be powerful.
Who was it? Robert Schuller, who had the Crystal Cathedral back in the day. And I actually went there, and there was an energy within that configuration. In fact, when you study a lot of the medieval Renaissance architecture, the spires and the way that the building was put together using a lot of crystals.
The ancient star races, the Iranians, the Syrians, the galactic races, you know what they used?
Mm-hmm.
Devices, crystals, different crystals from all over the galactic.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is really
their devices. They're Mies. They were called Mies. They were massive weapons. For communications. They would nano travel. They would, just through crystals. They use crystals.
Does anyone know of any buildings that are made of crystals that are here? Someone was talking about the Crystal Cathedral. Yeah. Unfortunately, that no longer is a church. It's they've actually taken it down. I'm just reading a lot of these comments that's coming through. It's kind of interesting sitting here and going, hey, y'all are talking in there. It would be interesting. I'm going to look into that to see, are there any structures out there that are, primarily the baseline of the material is quartz crystalline of some material. Do you know of any?
I do not.
Interesting.
Off the top of my head, I could probably figure it out. Feel a little dated.
This is something
Not completely crystal. I do not.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could actually, like much of, like the crystal ball I have is basically reconstituted crystal.
A lot of the structures that they use are a lot. It's mainly quartz. It's still, a mixture of material, conglomeration. Yeah.
Right. Real interesting. We were looking at a house and down in Colorado Springs, outside of Colorado Springs, and guess what? It was the house that Nikola Tesla lived in.
Oh, wow.
And when we were going through the house, very strange how he had the foundation, the type of material that he had used in constructing this. And it was I felt like almost I was walking inside of an electrical field.
Mhm.
You know, the hairs on my arm at time would literally raise up. And so it tells you that I think that this has a lot to do with that.
I think it has a whole lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm. You know, Trina has some remarkable ideas in using much of the same process that Tesla used. And as I'm thinking about with these crystals, it would be interesting to experiment, you know, being able to connect a crystal together, getting two copper rods, putting them, you know, in the polar fields,
Mhm.
and seeing exactly what could be measured out of that.
Well, here's I don't have it. They're outside, but I take you can take a crystal like a crystal obelisk or a point,
Mm-hmm.
and you wound copper around the bottom of it, and you create a tail, and that way you can take it outside and you can plug it into the ground. You stick the copper tail into the ground and literally
Excellent.
point it up at the sky. You know?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Keep on. That is a fabulous idea.
And the copper puts pressure on the crystal, which then in returns creates energy in the crystal to activate. Uh, it's really neat. You can do a lot of things. You can even put the crystal, that very crystal, in a pipe and point it up at the sky, and you can bust some chemtrails up with them things.
You know, listen, and I have a few choice ones. This is one of my, um,
Yes, that's beautiful.
yeah. So um, tomorrow I'm heading to Home Depot and I will be buying. Yeah, look at that one's quite beautiful. Yes. Yeah. There
That's
we
a
go. Well, this will be some good experimenting. I have a voltage meter, and I'm actually going to do this.
you
Uh,
like I would wind that copper around my, like if I were to wind it around this and I
mhm.
a little bit of pressure to that copper and wind it really tight, you can actually, if you turn out the lights, you can actually see flashes. You can hear it crackling and you can just feel it.
I have a workbench that I've set up as my alchemy bench, and been using a lot of these crystals in measuring, you know, when particularly different laser light hits them.
Mhm.
And it's quite amazing. I mean, the fractals that exist within that structure, they at times they look to me to be almost alive.
They are, I guarantee.
Yeah.
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 It's in particularly when you have a completely darkened room and you get the laser set up to where it hits the crystal at that right point. I mean, it's like something is, I don't know. It's
It's an energy. You can
yeah.
see
I
it.
mean, literally, it's an energy. That's a very good word to describe it.
Yeah. So
And go ahead.
no, go. Yeah,
No, I was just saying that I have found, you know, using blue light, blue laser light, red laser light, green laser light, it all has different properties within the crystal itself.
mhm. You
Yeah.
can you can even activate the energy in a crystal by pressure. So if I were to put pressure on this side and no pressure on this side, it creates energy.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put pressure on it all, it creates energy, but it doesn't hold the energy. It's just a spike. So we have to figure out how to apply pressure and not apply pressure at simultaneously in order to keep that energy going. Also, you can extreme cold, heat at the same time creates that
Have you been
energy.
able to actually measure any, you know, and like I said, I have a voltage meter right over on the other side of my desk here. because I think that this is valid to allow people to understand the dynamics about what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I have not done that.
Okay. I can see that Queen Karen is saying oscillations. Yeah.
Yep, oscillation.
Yep, that's the key word we were looking for, Karen. She's like, yeah, guys, I'm right here. But I think this is amazing. So you've been actively helping, how do you see this growing? Karen, I know I'm doing this above you, but we'll get your take on this.
Yeah. We're dumping our energy, our strengths, our attributes into this grid. I know I am. I'm.
Well, listen, when I produce my my circle of power, I mean, the grid is activated, and that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the crystals are set in specifically into certain sigils that it's very powerful. It's tangible. If I could just figure out a light, Nick, that could actually, we can measure that, I think that would be something.
There is a light spectrum that will pick it up. I guarantee it.
It has to be.
It's out there. Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be. I mean, it would just make sense to me. Yeah. This is far out. I really believe that. And, it's as we begin. Whose birthday is it today? Amanda's? I'm reading in here. Pardon?
Oh, I was telling him happy birthday.
Oh, Amanda B. All right. Amanda, happy birthday to you.
Amanda.
Good to see you. Congratulations. Another year on the rock.
Yeah.
And baby, we rock here. We rock. There ain't no doubt about it. Johan Dancing Gypsy, hello. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I see you over there with Brian a lot. Good to see you. And Lost in the Lake, is that what I'm saying? AK, I think it said Ken Chavez. Anyway, I digress. You shouldn't allow me to read at the same time. Wow, I think this is amazing. So I like where this is going, Nick. I think this is great. I think, and it's fabulous that you and Karen have been able to make that connection.
And like when the crystals they get all over the world, right? And then I have a crystal that is part of that network, or my master crystal. Okay, so I'm having synchronicities that people are, me and Karen or me and Brian or Brian Lunsford, we would think things at the same time and know it and like text each other, or just I would know something that they knew, and it's because it's all being transferred. And okay, so we're stuck in a perceptual feedback loop, and when you get faster than that feedback loop, you start uploading information to that feedback loop. And so then the collective consciousness, the mass consciousness, starts taking that in as part of the feedback loop.
Are y'all writing this down when you have these synchronicities coming in? I mean, this would be an interesting, I'm all about the data. And the more that you can validate these events, call them synchronicities, call them whatever you want, but then to actually begin to write them down and begin to develop a database within that's remarkable.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And it's awesome.
Yeah. And Brian is saying telepathy. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. You learn that when you have night paralysis, how much telepathy really works.
and I'm a sole believer of like, okay, so sigils and talismans and circles and candles, they're just extensions of our true power. So you can get to the point where those are just tools. They're cheat codes to the matrix.
They are tools
to use. But you can get to a point where you don't need those anymore, and you're just your presence, your being, the energy that you put out is enough.
One thing I learned years ago working with people like Joyce Myers and many of these large ministries that were out there, every one of them use a point of contact. And the point of contact is what unifies a group. It's taught in the Bible schools. It's taught in, it's how it works, and it's powerful. And if we could incorporate that into, the mindset that's being done here, the way I look at it is, why reinvent the wheel?
Use the wheel.
Yeah, use the wheel.
Use the wheel.
It's like, I got no desire to reinvent it. It's like it works fine for them.
Oh.
I mean, it's true. This is so absolutely far out. I like this. Any other type of views you have? I mean, curious, you talk about, do you use any sigils in,
Most definitely. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how powerful they really are.
And some people have bad experiences with them, and they think they've done this wrong or that wrong. Well, maybe it's the mindset going into producing that sigil. Sometimes you're not right. You don't got the right thoughts, or you're not in the right energy. You're not feeling it, and you go and you produce a sigil and activate it. It's that's product of your.
You plugged it into the wrong circuit.
The switchboard. It's just off.
It is very powerful. I mean, and I think that's part of understanding who and what we are, is the idea. I mean, you think about hate. Hate is extremely powerful, very potent, and when it's actually, I always say, collected. I mean, that's what cult groups do. I mean, political groups, all groups, if you can get the hate factor going, me against them, us against them mentality, wow. I'm just reading what people are saying about us here. Yeah, we're cool. We know it.
We are cool.
And let me tell you, the best, we are cool. That the greatest counter to hate is laughter, favor.
I'll tell you, Wayne, I'll be working during the day, and I rarely have a bad day anymore. But if I were to start to have a bad day, I'll think of something and I start to laugh, and after I'm done laughing, it's all gone. The problem's gone. You're in a different mindset.
It banishes. It banishes the negative energy that they're all around us. And what I've learned is, when you start the laughter, the joy, the favor, and invocation, you become soured milk.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like it anymore. And they're going to leave. And that's when favor begins. I read an email someone sent me today and said, thank you for, the favor invocation. I'm going to start reading it again. And the person said, it started slowly, but they said, we're seeing it now in so many areas of our life, our daily life. And that's what I think it's about.
Yep, it is what it's about. And I try to tell everybody, and I got the favor from, wishing favor upon people. I got that from you, and I started just wishing people favor all the time, and it's effective.
It is. I was out and about and someone cut me off. There would be a time when I've given them the finger ficker of fate. Now, literally what I just say is this, I just speak favor over you.
Yep.
It's not worth my energy being altered.
No.
I think this is fabulous, Nick. I am so excited that this is growing and that it's taking shape. I think this is powerful.
Very powerful. Very, very, very powerful.
And I keep on thinking about this, the opportunity to actually build a structure. Someone was talking about the pyramids under the oceans. It's been known that that Atlantis, or rumored, because I don't know anyone that was there, but that they had used specifically certain crystalline material in their temples.
The story of the Anu dynasty, those beings, they loved crystals.
Mm-hmm.
They loved them. They would make their thrones out of them, their halls, their houses. You know, a lot of things were made out of. They loved lapis lazuli. It's in all the text. You know,
And who wouldn't?
yeah,
It's a beautiful,
yeah.
I like that. It's a precious material. It's beautiful. Well, this
But
is what, go ahead, buddy.
no, you're fine.
No. I'm sitting here. My mind is going, 1,000 miles an hour because, um, I mean, this may be something well worth thinking about. I'm sure we got architects within this group, and wouldn't it be interesting to see what type of material is actually available?
You'd be surprised. At this day and age,
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of material.
Well, this is going out around the
If
world.
not, we could get it, Wayne. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is something, it's kind of great potential. And Karen, you would really know probably all of these answers. The woman actually literally mines these crystals. So that's what I love about
Yeah.
Karen, is that she's not just one who has the knowledge, she's actually in there digging. I mean,
She mined them twice, Wayne. She mined them twice. She mined them in another dimension in her dreams, and then she mined them physically.
yeah.
She was able to find them.
Beautifully put. That is just absolutely far out. I like this. Wow. There's something here. Wow. And as I said last night on my radio show, I'm convinced that we may not be the primary owners of Earth. I don't think that. I think we've got it wrong here. There was someone here before us, and I think they're still here.
Yeah, they're not gone.
And
I think they look just like you and I, more or less. Or they're able to inhabit a body.
yeah. I mean, they do. They seem to have that ability, but I keep on thinking, with the speeds, as I said last night, that the Navy now has recorded this, human beings could never survive that. So there's something else going on here. And I can't help but not think that the Earth wouldn't be the only place that would have crystal. I mean, I think that crystals they've said that they have found planets that were basically pure diamond.
Yeah. In a pool of infinite amount of, who knows, we really don't know.
Yeah. We don't.
Goes, but it's, man, if it's here, it's got to be somewhere else.
So my mind is going, and lo and behold, I am recalling a passage in the book of Revelation that says, well, that God, his throne is made of pure crystal. He has a crystalline sea of crystal in front of him. So I'm putting the dots connected and going, well, now wait a minute. So this cat sits on this throne made out of crystal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that wouldn't amp you up?
Oh yeah, he's amped up.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. If my white butt would sit into such a structure, I'm sure that I would be beginning to feel kind of godly myself.
And what if that throne that's made of crystal, or the cathedral that he's sitting in made of crystal, is also then connected to the ley lines of the whole planet?
Wow, I think it's also may have a
grid of the natural crystalline grid.
Yeah.
And it's plugged into that, or it's plugged. It's
And the late Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek: The Next Generation, the crystalline entity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was an actual intelligent, sentient being
Mm-hmm.
that had literally the form of crystal.
Wow.
There's some deep stuff here, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all starting to get a little bit of this? I am. Holy crap, this is cool. Wasn't expecting the conversation in that, but I'll tell you, Nick, this is what I like about it. You know, we allow the flow to go as it should anyway. Someone says, "When you make me amped up." Well, that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
So, Nick, I showed you this. Have you ever had any experience working with a spirit box?
No, I haven't. I've seen them used, but I haven't personally used them.
Yeah. I haven't either, but I did get one in, and just curious, would you have a question for a spirit? I don't know. They could be there or here. I guess it would probably be. Is there any time or distance in the spirit realm? I say no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, if you know, Bill Gates, I saw him decades ago. He wrote a book called Business at the Speed of Thought.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he was comparing, you know, the fact that we measure light as the fastest thing that we say, that something can't go past C, or according to Einstein, but thought would be faster than light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. I'm reading in here. I have one, and I need to show. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. So here it is. Just let everyone see. This is what they look like. And it has an SDS card in this thing. So is it, you know, I really don't have, if there are spirits here, I wonder if how they would say, do we say, ask it a question? That's what someone says. Okay.
Xbox.
All right.
Scanning. FM.
Okay. We'll turn it down so I don't blow the mic out. All right. So what we do is, you can see now, you have the SDS card in there. You can see the SD. So I'm just going to say, is there someone here tonight that would like to say hello? Let's see what we got. And give me 1 second. I'm still learning how to use this, folks. Okay.
The voice sounds muffled again.
All right. So now you can see it scanning. Okay, let's see what we got.
Playback.
Seems to be very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
How odd. Okay. Well, I don't know. You can actually take these out and actually put it through a whole. Well, that's very interesting. I don't think we got an answer, Nick.
With time comes answers. You know, you could be playing around with that, and then all of a sudden.
Playback.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. All right, so that's us. Well, this is very interesting. We'll have to do some more. I mean, I literally just got this, so it's like I'm looking at Nick going, where do you put the key in at? I didn't send us the manual. So does anyone have Johan says this, keep listening. Well, okay, that's what we'll do. We'll continue to listen. Let's see if there is anyone in here.
Xbox.
Okay.
Scanning. FM.
So we'll get the SD card. I heard. Okay.
Playback.
Wow. That was weird. It just suddenly cut off. Well, I don't know. We'll get this figured out.
Interesting, nonetheless. That's really
Yeah, it's I'm a novice, so maybe they're laughing at me, going, "Yeah, listen to this guy, what he's doing." So anyway, I'll continue to experiment with this and see what happens.
How are you with sleeping at night with awakening? Do you wake up really early in the morning?
I have finally succumbed to the fact that I am waking up regularly at 3:33 in the morning.
That's
Yeah. It's my wife is thinking about moving into the next bedroom because and now it's, I don't fight it. It's like, okay. Why do you ask? That's very interesting. Do you find yourself in the same way?
I only sleep probably 4 hours a night, and it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I'll always wake up at 3 o'clock or before, and like clockwork.
Yeah, it's
my wife as well. She gets up. She's right there alongside with me.
Mine's not. I can tell you, Linda says she just said she accepts that there's so much going on. There's so much change in this house. The energies are just wonderful, and the dynamics, and we don't have negative encounters. The spirits that we do encounter are all very positive. But she keeps saying that, she says, Wayne, she says, honey, I love you so much, but you are like way out there. She says, and I'm back here. So, but I tell her that our love binds us, and, she's there anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The love you have for one another kind of, reigns through,
the relationship, and I can say this, we had much more difficulty when we were both very much in the indoctrination of belief systems. Lynn came from more of a Southern Baptist. Her view of God was the whack-a-mole God. You didn't raise your head to say anything to him, because if you did, he was going to whack you on the head. Where I come from the other extreme, where faith, the energies of dynamics of manifestations. And that's what it was. And what I found out, it wasn't any Jesus, it wasn't any God that was up there. It is the individual that's responsible for the manifestation. And in any case, since I was, as many in the religion said, I was anointed with the gifts. There is a language that is as well versed to me as my English tongue.
Yeah.
And that never left. So the question is, so where did that come from?
Yeah, a good question. Where did it come from?
I don't know. I mean, it's very fluent with me, so I don't know. I do know. I know that it's faith is the thing that I think separates our beings. Is we all have faith in something. You know, I've heard some people say, well, I have very little faith. No, actually, you have great potential of faith. But what's that, my friend?
Everything has potential, you know?
Yes, yes, yeah. And so, when you, and I'm not scared of it. I've never been afraid of the spirit realm.
And you shouldn't be. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all what you make of it.
The out-of-body experience that changed my life. I was 16 years old, and I literally was out of my body. The paramedics were there resuscitating me, and I've told the experience to the group before, but I met a group of beings, and that particular journey, I had a choice I could have made. I could have stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
They were willing to take me under their wing, but I chose to come back. So anyway, I digress. But it all plays a part of this, Nick. It really does.
I think it does too. And go ahead.
So where do you see this going? Where do you see yourself moving forward towards?
Well, I want to move forward towards the words can't even explain it. Like this grid is really important to me, and I want to see it grow. I want to see everybody around me that has the potential. I want to see them grow alongside me. I don't want to be the only one to have growth or to learn this or to learn that. I want everybody around me to have the same chances I do.
You
So
are truly a builder, Nick. You really are.
Yeah, I've done a lot in my time. I've done a lot in construction. I've done, I've built a lot of different things. Heck, I can go out in my backyard and I can take scrap wood from my garage and I can just throw something together and I have something, but we can take and apply that same knowledge and same motivation and put it towards everybody else instead of somebody just themselves.
I got the sense that this is not your first rodeo.
Mm-mm.
And what I mean, not just this lifetime.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And I come to find out, you get little glimpses of deja vu and, well, I did that before. Well, yeah, you did. You probably did.
Yeah, I bet you have.
If you thought of it, you probably had a part in creating it one time, or it's definitely happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, I think there's a lot of builders here. There really are. I know, Brian, you come on at 8, so I'm going to get off here so we can make sure that folks go over there and tune in to Brian's show. Brian, you are doing one, right? Here I am going, hey, Brian, can you read sign language? But there is something, I'm trying to read this. And do you know, is Brian doing a show here? Because
I haven't. I've been preparing for it.
Yeah.
Get worked up to come on here with you.
You did great. I'll tell you. I believe that there's a lot of builders in here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a sense that we have built great things before. I'm convinced of it.
500 years ago, something hit the earth. Well, these star races, they travel around in hollowed out asteroids, in planetoid, bodies. That's what they do. And what they could have lobbed something over our way. Atlantis, Lemuria, and those times of great technology and great wealth and great knowledge. And what works so much? Okay, so chaos. When something breaks down and there's nothing left, and what rises from the ashes, the survivors control.
Mm-hmm.
So, they controlled what rose from the ashes of a catastrophe, and here we are again.
Yeah, and I don't think it's happened just once. I think it's happened a number of times. Again, I'm convinced that there's another species here. Again, I don't know if they're bipedal. They could be tripedal, quadrupedal. They may not be anything, but I'm convinced they're here. And for myself, I've been searching for years as to who is the true puppet master. And this crystal network, I think it could aid in exposing that as well.
Yep. Because I think if we build our own grid, I think ultimately it overlays their grid, and the energy and the information that's traveling through that grid, we can see it. We'll be able to see it more or less.
Mm-hmm. You know, in the alien interview, Ariel said that as exactly what's here is there is this grid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm convinced that that's exactly what they have used.
I agree.
Just me.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this hour's come and gone.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, seriously, I felt like we just got our first cup of coffee, and I'm going, waitress, wait a minute, the coffee, it's like, wow. Well, Nick, now I gathered you don't have a YouTube channel, which is,
I'll probably end up starting one.
Well, it's a platform. It allows conversation, exchange of ideas. But I'm going to look forward to having Karen on, and let's just get this thing going.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Brian, you really need to get a T-shirt. What is it? The Truth in Trinity? What is his moniker on that?
Trinity of Truth. Be the
Trinity of Truth. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the tit, Brian. That's all I got to say. It works. Well, Nick, thank you, my friend. I think everyone now, when they see you in the chat rooms, and this is what it's about. I'd love to get everyone in the chat rooms in on the show, and so that we can get to know one another. But thank you, sir. You are a remarkable soul, and what a pleasure to know that we have such quality of individuals like yourself in this group.
I appreciate that, Wayne. I appreciate you having me on, and it's an honor, definitely, because I really look up to you, and I've been with you since the Olsen days.
That goes back, doesn't it?
Yeah. Journey, for real. It's been a freaking journey.
It has been. It has been. I look back, and I dearly have great respect for Steve, and he's tenacious in his pursuit of what he believes, and I think they are recording something. My path just said, well, if this is coming in, then we need to start looking within us to be dealing with it. And, that's where the separation came. And, it's fascinating. I still watch his videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it has been a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah,
about 3,000 videos a long time ago.
It's been an honor to be with you, though.
Oh, Nick, the honor's here, my friend. You have graced us with, you're just a wonderful soul. And folks, this is the quality of the people that we got here. And ladies, gentlemen, if you want to come on and talk your story, hey, there's an open invitation for all of us. Nick, you want to take us out as we go out?
Well, I just want to walk in favor, walk in overflowing favor, everybody, please. And if you need anything, I'm in the chat room. Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I tell you, folks, we got some of the best people here. Nick, Trina, Brian, there's just so many of them that there's such great resources that we have. Well, Nick, thank you, my friend. I'm going to check out as well. And folks, we'll see you all on Monday. Nick, again, I'm going to have you back on. This will be fun. Maybe we'll get a group here and have a lot of, just have a coffee time together. And yeah, to share some things. Johann, we ought to get you on here. So many people that I see in the names. Hey, there's Brian. Good to see you, my friend. Cosmic Convergence. So peace to everyone. Thank you, Karen, Queen of Quartz, for everything that you're doing.
Love you.
And Nick, namaste to you, my friend. I will be in touch with you soon. All right, everyone. Have yourself a great, strong end of the week. Peace. Bye-bye.